Have you ever felt like the work that you're doing in your business makes you feel like it's just in vain? I felt that in 2024. I don't know about you. Do you ever feel like you're literally pouring out so much, but the result that you're getting from the energy that you're pouring out in your business is not retaining or bringing you back the same ROI? If that's how you felt in 2024, welcome to 2025 because this video is for you. Hey, it's your girl Sherry Summer Bell. Welcome to my side of heaven. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And today we're going to be talking about just that. I'm going to be showing you the business principle and precepts that help me to navigate that feeling like I'm just putting so much in my business, putting so much time, and that season of I'm not seeing a return at all, and how I was able to navigate that. You may want to tag your business bestie on this one. You may want to get your Diva notebook and your diamond pen because we are getting ready to dive in on what that looks like. Because for a long time, I truly believe not just me, but you, and not just you, so many people are like so happy to be in 2025 because 2024 was a lot. It was a whole lot. And guess what? I got my notes for you today. So I'm going to make sure that um, I really touch on these things because this is how intentional I was in literally writing down what I want to make sure that you know so you don't skip a beat. Because, baby, I felt the challenge in 2024, but we're here. All right, we're here. We made it to 2025, and it's going to be one of our best year ever. I guarantee it. And you're going. How do I know? Because I'm going to give you exactly the steps process of how to look at this. So, I've been sitting with these thoughts, right, for a long time. And the reason I've been sitting with the thought so much, I'm a God girl. So I'm literally reading my Bible, and I'm in Numbers in my Bible. I'm listening to Moses, and it was talking about, I'm reading about Moses and Aaron and how God used Moses to be the one to lead the people to the promised land, to go to the land of Jordan, and going to that promised land. I was reading it and I was angry with God. I was angry. I was like, God, let me just get this right. You're using Moses to do all this work to go tell Pharaoh to let your people go. And then you use him to go all the way to this promised land. And then he died and did not even see the promised land. Feel like 2024 for me. Okay. So, doing all this work, and it just feel like that hard work is in vain. It just feel like, why did you have me do all this work and I did not see the benefits of it? And now when I read the Bible, I'm like, yep, I'm feeling like Moses right now. I'm feeling like Moses right now. So, but truth of the matter is, when we really think about who Moses, Moses, the prophet of Moses in the Bible, we can relate to this because in that time, Moses was dealing with stiff neck people that he was leading to a place that he promised them something. And on the way to their journey, they just felt like this is in vain. Why did you take us from Pharaoh? We should have just stayed there and be punished. We should just stay there. And stiff neck people complain all the time. Can you relate? Do you have any stiff-necked people that you're talking to about your business and they're rather be in debt, so they'd rather not solve that problem that you say that your business solve? I'm telling you. So I was like, I could only imagine you got God telling Moses this thing and instructing him, and then you got the people over here saying something else to him. And one of the things I wrote down, if you're on my email list, you better be on my email list because I literally said this out of my email list. And I said, I've been sitting with these feelings reading the story of Moses and Aaron in the Bible. They gave everything to lead God's people, yet neither of them made it to the promised land. It made me wonder, what is the purpose of sticking to obedience when it feels like the work is in vain? Let me say it again for the people in the back. What is the purpose of sticking to obedience when it feels like it is in vain? But here's what I want you to learn about: obedience and faithfulness are never wasted. I want you to hear me clearly. Obedience and faithfulness is never wasted. And I literally wrote that down the other day because it may seem like it seem like the seeds that you're planting is not getting harvest, and it's not getting harvest fast enough. Because one thing, what people cannot tell you, no one can tell you when the opportunity is going to strike. I don't care what coach you hire. I'm just going to save you $50,000 in mastermind coaches. Trust me, I've spent $300,000 in mastermind coaches. I know no one can tell you exactly when you're going to get a client. No one knows that. Okay, I just saved you some money right there. What they can tell you though, they can give you a framework, and in your obedience and faithfulness on that of doing that framework, then because why can they do that? Because in your obedience and faithfulness of doing that framework that you may be given, that's you're building a different type of muscle. You're building a trust muscle. You're building muscles of consistency. And in building muscles of consistency and building muscles of trust, people start relate to you and want to work with you. But sometimes you're missing just the framework. And so they offer you the framework. But even with a coach offering you the framework, you must have the obedience and the faithfulness to execute the framework, even when you don't feel like it. And that is so important, because I've never heard of someone who's obedient, execute a framework, keep doing, and faithfulness to do it consistently, that it didn't pay off. Never. And because of that, that's evidence enough for you to know that your work is not in vain. Your work is not in vain. I went on to say, because this is again the same email I sent out to my. Sometimes the seed that we plant don't sprout right away. Sometimes the purpose of the season isn't about the destination, but the growth and transformation that happen along the way. Now, one of the things, and I'm big on this because I did it too. One of the things that I did, most of the time I teach my clients how to make their first 100K, right? We have a 100K day, how you make your first 100K. And in doing so, in making your first 100K day or having your first 100K, that is the destination. But when my clients come into me, what they learn when they stick around with me for a while, they realize, hold up, even if I didn't hit my 100K, I learned so much about myself, my awareness about things, the way I look at things, how strong I am, how confident I am. It's improved so much. That is enough evidence for me to keep going. So one thing I think coaching programs bring out in you, it brings out, and I can only speak for mine, it brings out a new version of you. And that new version of you is what I just talked about when I said that it isn't mostly about the destination, but it's about the transformation that happens along the way. You still need the destination. I said this on my Monetize Your Influence podcast. You still need the destination because you get something to aim for. But don't get caught up in numbers, is what I'm saying. Don't get caught up in numbers, because when you get caught up in numbers and you don't hit the number, you think, oh, it's a waste of time. It was in vain. But reality is, when you post that reel, when you have your masterclass, when you host your challenge, you get better in communicating. You get better in speaking. You get better in learning how to edit a video. You get better. There's some skills and knowledge that you picked up along the way in executing that goal and going to do that goal, that you can use and make you high value because you now know that skills. And then you are high in demand because you know that skill. This is so important to understand, because I remember when people would call me to do something and I would like, yeah, I'll do it. And did not ask question because I just wanted to be visible. I just wanted my target audience to find me. But in this season, because I've built up my skills, built up my value, built up my authority, in this season, I have questions I have to ask. Is this monetized? Is this how many people are you expected to be there? I learn now all the different questions that I need to ask before saying yes to an opportunity. Why did I know that? Because I kept going. And as I kept going, I became valuable And as my brand value increases, my perceived value increases, I have the right and the authority to ask those questions now. But that would not ever been possible had I stopped, had I kept believing that my work was in vain. Moses is known as one of the greatest prophet in the Bible because Moses was more listening to the destiny. He was more focused on making sure destiny was fulfilled, not making sure like I don't care if I'm there. So some of you are on a journey right now, and the journey you think is for you, and you have to get there. And I'm here to tell you, some of your destination that you may not even be around when that destination arrive, but your kids, your grandkids, your legacy are going to enjoy the destiny of what you build. Oh, it's so good, so good, so good. So I want to share with you, if you feel heavy, like you are striving, you are thriving and not thriving. Oh my God, let's try it again. Striving and not thriving. I want to remind you, and I write this down. Your faithfulness matters, even when the results aren't immediate. Your faithfulness matters, even when the results are not immediate. I I'm hosting a virtual selling blueprint, and this is a challenge that helps you to be able to sell your expertise one to many, and teaching you the patterns and the behavior of how to become better at selling, and in a presentation in whatever aspect of virtually you sell, whether it's on a call or in a masterclass or in a challenge or on the phone virtually selling. And in that, if you what sometimes my clients will do a challenge like, okay, only 4 people show up and I didn't make a sale. And I'm like, okay, do it again. And like, do it again. And the reason why I'm telling them to do it again is because you get better. Your sales are only stuck because your skills are stuck. Your talent are stuck. So the more you master your craft, clients will never be a problem. I want you to sit with that for a moment. Sit with that for a minute. So if we get rid of the destination, I got to get 3 clients. I got to get 10 clients. So we get rid of the commission breath and focus on the journey of that destination. How am I doing with my speaking? How am I doing my better communication? How am I building better relationship? If we get better with having that type of conversation, if we get better in that space, what happened there is our speaking get better, so people are now noticing us. Our message get better, so people are now noticing our brand. And how do we get better? We get better by having faith in our consistency. Ooh, how do we get better? Is understand that a faithfulness matter even when the results is not immediate. And let's go into 2025 with fresh perspective. And the first perspective I want you to have is, let's honor small wins from the past year. Let's honor that. I have a whole bunch of wins that I had a whole bunch of things that did not go as planned. But let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. When I was talking, let me give you an example. I'm talking to my bookkeeper, and I was like, I don't want to hear the number. I don't want to hear the number of what happened. I'm like, I don't want to hear the number. I don't care to know. I don't want to hear the number of how I did last. I don't want to hear it, because in my head I was disappointed in myself. It has nothing to do with me, just how the economy was. And then she said, well, it's kind of weird because you did better than last year. What? What? We are so This is why we need data and not allowing our emotions to be our matrix. Because if we allow our emotions to be our matrix, or social media to be our matrix, we're going to be thinking that we're failing when actually we're winning. This is why it's so important to have data, because data is in the dollars, and data is in the dollars. So it's important for you to understand the data of your business, because in my head, oh, this was not a good year at all. We didn't do it too well. Oh my gosh. But then when the data said something else, and data don't lie. People lie, but data don't lie, right? So you have to make, and that comes from small wins of keep going. Even the days I wanted to say this crap is not working, I kept going. I kept showing out that email. I kept sending out that reel. I kept showing up live. Everything I tell my clients to do, I kept doing it myself. So regardless, and take the emotions out of it. No, don't get me wrong. I was complaining in the background, but I kept showing up. 'Cause what else am I going to do? Not show up? That's not me. That's not my character. That's not who I am as a high value client, high value coach. That's not who I am. And if you value yourself, you too are going to show up because that's not who you are. All right. So let's honor small wins from the past year. Let's leave behind things that drain us. Can we talk about that for a second? Leave behind things that drain us. When I think of when I was in the mindset and perspective of Moses and how Moses was obedient to God, and the minute he did something wrong, it was cut off. It was that's the idea I had in my head. And then I had to do my research because I'm a research girl. And when I started doing my research, the research shows me that God never said that Moses was going to the promised land. He just told his instruction was Moses, I'm going to use you to get my people from under Pharaoh and take them to the promised land. I'm going to use you to do it. I didn't say, he didn't say Moses was going to be there. He just said, I'm going to use you as the vehicle to the liaison to do it. And can we just say how beautiful it is for God to choose Moses as the one, as that one to lead his people to freedom? Can we just say, like, I'm thinking in my Martin Luther King mind, just thinking in that nature, how he used Moses as the person to lead that in itself is just so beautiful. So I had to go back to myself and say, oh my gosh, God is using you in some form and in some fashion to lead his people, to put marriages back together. God is using you to lead his people to have better credit score. God is using you to lead his people so they don't outlive their money. God is using you to lead his people to know how to process their emotions. God is using you to help people be first-time home buyers. So when I look at what a blessing it is that you're the chosen one, you're the Moses in your industry, that there's no fault in that. Like, there's not more beautiful idea with that. I mean, literally, I had to shift my perspective of how I was looking at things and understand that it's not about a number. I want to make my first 100K. I want to make it my first seven figures. I want to make my first six. It's not about a number. It's more about you becoming the best version of yourself in the process of getting to that number. Sometimes I just want to throw numbers out because I was talking to one of my clients and she was like, Sherry, she said, when I first working with you, you said, her name is T. She said, you said this. You told me that I was doing too much and I should have just scaled down and do this. And now I am a year late, almost a year late, 3 months out to a year, and I'm doing exactly what you said. And I love her dearly. And it's just so beautiful. And the reason why I was able to do that because of my own storm, of my own experiences that I had, made me experience that so I can come back and tell my clients, oh, don't do that because that's going to happen. But sometimes I want to be clear that your clients, even though you're telling them, they have to have their own experience no matter what. It's like you're telling your child, don't do XYZ, but that child has to have their own experience. And that's a whole other story as a mom that I even want to touch on, but that's a whole other story all by itself. So we have to honor the small wins from the past year. Let's leave behind the things that drain us, and let's embrace new identity. Not as someone stuck in the past, but as someone walking boldly in the future. So we're in January when I recorded this, January 2025. We're second day into January when I recorded this. So if that is the case, this is the best time more than ever to take on what I call the new identity. The good news of taking on a new identity is the fact that you get to choose anytime. You have the choice, immediate choice at any given time right now to say, I don't like this identity. I don't like the way I'm thinking. I don't like the way I'm thinking that my work is in vain. I need to change this about myself. You get to say that and honor that and do that. So if we're going to take on a new identity, we're going to package 2024. We're going to say it made us a strong person because it shaped us for who we were. But now we're exploring and we're going into a new identity, and we're going into a space now where we can say we're new creatures. We're God's masterpiece. We're going into a new element of ourselves. And when you go into that new element of yourself, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful because you know you're more than a conqueror in Christ Jesus. You know that every work, everything that you're doing, that reel that you're making is working. Regardless if you think it's not working, it is working. That live video that you're doing, it's working. That call that you're doing, it's working. All work. It's either working on you or it's working in you, but it is working. And then as you plant those seeds, because you're working, those activities those revenue generated activities that you're doing, then you get a call. Hey, I want to work with you. Hey, are you able to speak somewhere? Hey, are you available for this? Hey, because I want you to understand the last thing to show up is your revenue or whatever your destination. That's the last thing to show up is your revenue. So when we say, so if you concentrate on that number and not pay attention to how much you have grown, you would think that you're failing or you failed. So I want to encourage you today. I want to encourage you to be able to let you know that you're not alone. And in this journey of 2025, I want to partner with you. I want you to be able to consistently remember that you are not alone and your work that you're doing is not in vain. There is somebody out there, whether they like it or write a comment, they see you. They're studying you, they're watching you, they're see you. And a person doesn't have to like or comment to need your service. They will get in that DM. They will call you straight from Facebook Messenger. They'll see you at the grocery store and said, hey, I saw you. I need your help. I need to call you. I need to call you for the life insurance policy. I need to call you because I'm buying my first home. I need to call you because I need my taxes done. I need to call you because I just need some emotional support. Whatever your industry in, that person will reach out to you and call you. And that's why I love attraction marketing, because all you got to do is put your message out there. And I want to show you how to put your message out there. I want to be able to show you that. And if that's something you're saying, Sherry, I just don't know how to put the words together for me to put myself out there. I am the expert. I know what I'm doing, but I don't know how to sell what I'm doing. I would love for you to join me on my virtual selling blueprint challenge, because in the challenge we reveal how you are able to do that in our 5-day process. So I have the link below, but I just want to make sure that you know that you're not alone. We don't gatekeep over here. We make you know how you're able to get your message, your voice, to showcase your expertise, educate your people so they can know how to do their taxes right. They can know how not to outlive their money. They can know what life insurance policy work for them. They can know what they need to do if they're going to buy their home for the first time. They can know what whatever their credit score need to be. All of that jazz that you say that you do, that you say that you work on, that is you. Don't ever think that this is a waste of time. I want you to know that there's somebody that's looking for you right now. And all you have to do is to become findable. Hey, so that's all I got for you. I'm super excited to be coming back to you doing these videos. I slacked off in 2024, but we are back. We're going to be dropping videos to you. I want you to hold me accountable. We're going to be dropping videos to you before Friday every single week. So make sure you tune in and make sure you hit the subscribe button. Until next time, it's your girl, Sherry Summer Bell. Be blessed. Have a good day.